school football fans across the North Florida area, including Panama City Beach, Tallahassee, the Big Bend, and the Panhandle. Welcome to another edition of the Extra Point. It has been a wild week of football, but we have finally made it. Gentlemen, we are at the end of the regular season. Can you believe it is week number 11? And honestly, we get the bonus week, but for a few of our teams, this is going to be it. We'll definitely appreciate watching them, but we got a couple of teams. We got quite a few teams across the area that, unfortunately, at the end of this week, they will be turning in pads. But for a lot of our teams, for most of these teams in the area, we got some playoff football coming up on the horizon. We still got a few things to shake out, but it is week number 11 here, and it's been a great season so far. I think we've seen some outstanding performances. We've seen a lot of teams that came from out of nowhere and have dominated. So it's been a really good year thus far, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen over the next course of these next couple of weeks as we get some finalization, especially in the rural classification. And then we got the bonus week. We'll see how that shakes out. But aside from some hurricane games and some makeup games from earlier in the year, man, it's been a great season so far. And I don't know what do y'all have a favorite game so far? Like, there's been a lot of them.
What you about over the season? Coming up? Not really. I enjoyed all of them. I got to watch 5 or 6 games every week. I mean, I enjoy that. I mean, I might miss a play because I'm switching back and forth to different games, but it was a lot of the games are good. It really wasn't one I could just pick. Maybe the Mosley Niceville game might be one of the better games, but basically through the year it's been pretty even keel. I enjoyed it. I hate that it's over. I always hate when the season's over, but hey, time moves on.
Oh yeah, the Mosley Niceville game was definitely high on my list.
Yeah, I think they because of who they were. Mosley was a strong program, grinding out. Could be, they got one more game, they could be undefeated, and knowing that those guys learning in media data, those were friends, and they competing against each other. That's kind of exciting too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liberty and Franklin County get a vote for me too. That was an exciting game.
Yeah, it was okay.
The heavyweight fight, I really liked Lincoln Gadsden. Heavyweight fight, kind of a big one in our area. Then I'll always have some love for like a good Godby Rickards game. Like with
you mean the game that Rickards won?
Yeah, the game that Rickards won.
They won.
I don't remember how much they won by, Coach, but I just remember
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. W's and L's. W's and L's. It really doesn't matter what the score was. As long as you win, you don't go home. Say we only won by 1. You happy you won.
Oh yeah, I was very impressed with a lot of teams, but this is just this time of year where you get kind of bittersweet. You hate that we've come to the end so fast, but man, playoff football is right there around the corner, so I'm looking forward to it. Man, we had a wild week in sports, and I thought about it, and I was like, I had to take some clips of a couple of things. I think I'm gonna call this segment "Out of Bounds." And we got to go ahead and pull this up because this was too good to not talk about. I don't know how you do this, but this looks nothing like D-Wade. It really does. I feel like these guys really thought they were looking at Dwayne Wade, but when you look at the features, it looks a dead-on match for Antoine Walker. Like it's like I don't know how you screw that up, but that's a lot of effort to go into. I took a sculpting class one time in college, and I end up switching it for a different class because that's a lot of effort. That is a heck of amount of effort to say that you got it wrong. And I just wonder who approves this stuff.
Yeah, That's kind of baffling. Probably, I mean, the biggest player in your franchise's history, right?
Yeah. I would argue that is the player. But I think we lost Coach's audio. I think we lost your audio for a minute. I think you dropped out. But
unplug it, Coach. But yeah, that's wild. Yeah, to your point, Mark. Even just like, hey, Sculptor, even when they're in the mix, hey, Sculptor, this is a picture of the.
Am I back?
Oh yeah, we got you.
Okay. Something is going on. Go ahead.
By the way, make sure you get the number 3, the right number 3. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how that happens.
But yeah, even you could tell he was disappointed because when he saw the event, he was just like, "What?
Who the heck is that?"
Mm-hmm.
And these guys did Kobe Bryant statue. They did. These are the same guys that did Kobe statue. These are the same guys that did MJ statue outside the United Center. Like they're known. They got pedigree. I just honestly think they were looking at the wrong guy.
How in the heck you can make that mistake? They took time to make that. It wasn't done overnight.
I just
hell they did.
I feel like this is on. I feel like this is on the Miami Heat front office. You orchestrated this. You scheduled this, and then somebody somewhere dropped the ball because the approval process it should be pretty heavy. When you do a bust of somebody for the NFL, they do such a detailed job to get it all right, all the features, even down to your hair. When you look at what Devin Hester when he was voted in, they even got the dreadlocks in there. I was like, okay, but to say that this is almost as bad as the one they did for Ronaldo. Did you see that one?
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
This is up there. This is up there. I feel bad for D Wade because you got your family there. This is a historic moment. You deserve better.
Yeah.
All right.
Forgive me, I'm making a
this nonsense. This was man, I don't know how he didn't get fined to the nth degree. So I mean it was a fantastic game between Washington and Chicago. I man, hats off to Caleb. He engineered a drive that was really incredible going down the stretch. I thought he played great football. But man, Jaden Daniels couldn't get anything going in the second half. The Bears defense was playing awesome. And then, the stage is set, and then this, I was like, dude, you are jaw jacking with the fans. You were over here like, and I heard his apology. He was just like, yeah, I got there were some Bears fans that were shouting me out. So I was, but I'm like, he was having a whole conversation for 3 seconds after the play, after the ball was snapped.
Too bad. Like if somebody spotted that out because at first when the game was going on, you didn't know that he was doing that. Somebody on social media, I think, picked that up, and it was all over the internet. And he looked like, man, I felt so sorry for him because he actually touched the ball. It might have been better if he was just left it alone. Yeah.
That was the guy he was supposed to box out that ended up catching the ball.
But think about this, they didn't have anybody in the middle to tap the ball, but he was the only guy that did it. It probably would have died right there with that group. But not for him coming in from nowhere, knocking it in the air. Made it easy. Man, football, he going to be in history. That's going to be forever.
Oh, yeah, decades. Decades are going to go by.
Too bad they don't have that.
Be defined by this.
You remember a long time ago they had bloopers?
Yep.
Football, man, he'd probably be on the first, when they first come up with it, he'd be at the top of the list. About bad as your boy with Dallas Cowboys making a big boo-boo during the game, trying to fall on a ball that was already on the ground. All they had to do was let it go.
Leon Lett. will live on forever, permanently
Leon,
in my memory. I remember watching that Super Bowl with my dad, and Leon was about to score, like legitimately was about to score, and was like, Don Beebe came out of nowhere, just knocked the ball out of his hands.
he ain't a running back, but they didn't do anything to him. He didn't get cut or anything. Everybody thought Jimmy Johnson was gonna let him go for all the dumb mistakes he made, but Jimmy Johnson let everybody know he ain't that. He too dang good for me to cut him. Some people will get cut, but he too high on the food chain.
Weird how that works, right? But yeah, this is something I expect to see on a Friday night. What happened with the guy with the Bears? That's absolutely unreal. Like, my guy, just wait 11 seconds and then you can talk smack. When you intercept the ball or whatever, do whatever you want after that 10 more seconds. But during the play is insane at the NFL level.
If he hadn't,
I could not be unaware of when the ball was snapped. There's no way.
He wasn't worried about it. He figured they had to throw it 100 miles, and he didn't have to worry about it. He had no idea that ball, he was going to be that close to get touching that ball. All he had, if he just left it alone, they'd have been fine. I don't think it would have tapped back. It went back like about 5 yards.
Yeah, NFL is assignment football, and that was his job to box that guy out. And he said it. He said that was the person I was supposed to box out. And so no, to your point, he shouldn't have been the one swatting at the ball. He just should have been playing defense against his man. So
he wasn't in place to go block that man out coming from the side. Hey, and he probably like everybody in the world saw me make a mistake. And it's probably all through that game, people making mistakes the whole game. But the one thing he did is gonna be seen forever.
Right.
As long as he lives, he definitely gonna know he did that.
All right. If you're an FSU fan, this is your moment of positivity. Like, Jameis Winston had a heck of a game last week, so I feel like for all the Knowles fans out there, your FSU your ability to connect with FSU football is gonna come through the NFL. Like, just cheer for a former Knoll. That's your best bet right now. And I feel like between Jameis Winston having a heck of a game, took down Lamar Jackson, had an incredible game. 3 touchdowns. I think it was threw for almost close to 400 yards.
No, he threw for like 334. I was watching the game on my many TV channels that I have in my house. And, but you know what? He almost did something Jameis has done in the past. They were about to win the game. They were moving the ball, and he threw a pass directly to one of the Ravens, and he caught it. He had it. He threw it around. And the ball flied. Could have been the end of the game, and all people would have talked about was that interception. I mean, because he threw it right.
Jameis is good for at least 1 or 2 of those. Again,
but the next play, every time you drop an interception like that, it look like it never fails. You're going to be the next play is going to be a touchdown. It's going to be something against you. You got to end it.
He's like Brett Favre. Like, you're just gonna live and die on his ability to sling the football. That's it. You are living and dying with Jameis.
Well, if he didn't have such a strong arm, he probably wouldn't throw a lot of those interceptions. When you got an arm like he got, you figure you can get it anywhere. And in the past, has got him in trouble. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, he's one of my favorite players.
It's hard not to like Jameis. Like, he does such a good job, like in entertaining people off the field. His press conferences are legendary. Like,
Let me tell you something. When I was at media day at Florida State, when he became the starting quarterback, first time I met him, I said, this kid is special. He had the media in his hand. People were all over the place. They left all the players. I felt sorry for a couple of them. Then nobody wanted to talk to nobody but him. And he knew how to hold the crowd. Exciting player. I sat up there and I said, I knew he was going to be good.
Oh yeah, there's such a this is an air of about him that makes him different than everybody else right now.
I mean, even he doesn't even have to be starting. So I mean, he's making headlines all season as a backup. It's just that anytime, like Coach is saying, he gets a mic in front of him, he's ending up on social media.
What's that? The W, the wins.
Yeah. There you go on the right hand side. Eat the W. Eat the dub.
One of his teammates did it. He told me. He said, "You know what this is? You know what this is?" He said, "I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna let somebody else do it." One of his teammates did, and did the W. Man, I said, "Man, this dude, wow."
Something else.
All right. If you see the flags, it's time to get the brag. Happy homecoming week to all the Rattlers out there. It's going to be a great week. I think we got Texas Southern coming in to the capital city. So happy homecoming to all the FAMUans out there. I know that the city will be extremely full on come Saturday with FSU and FAMU kicking off at virtually the same time. I don't know who made the schedule, but yeah, good luck to all of the police officers out there working traffic duty. I know Perry Street. If I can, I'm going to try and sneak over there and get me a fish sandwich if I can. But yeah, happy homecoming to all the FAMUans out there. It's going to be a great time here in the capital city. So I can't think. Man, God, that's got to be like the first time in a long time that both Florida State and FAMU have had games on the same day at the same time. I don't know who's blowing me up right now. I'm really popular.
James.
I was gonna say everybody wants a piece, Mark. It might be a coach trying to pop on the show. Maybe it's Colsey. He wants to give a shout out real quick.
Hey, what's the guy name that made the mistake in the man? He saw the show, and he's looking at you, Mark. I didn't do nothing. I didn't say it.
Get out of there.
But, man, let's go ahead and not waste any time. Let's jump into some high school football. Week number 10 is in the books, and one of our biggest games got postponed. That was Gadsden County taking on Taylor County, and looked like it was going to be a good one till the lights went out. So I don't know. As a coach, that's got to be frustrating. You get your guys like worked up and everything. You're ready to go, and then electrical failure just kind of took everything out. Hopefully they get everything kind of secured and fixed up out there. But I was really looking forward to that one. They even had it down. I think the game was underway somewhere midway in the first quarter. So they'll get that one in towards the end of the season, I'm told. During the bonus week, I believe. I think that's November 7th. They'll 4th that they will take care of that one. So other scores from around the area: Arnold edges Rickards, and that was a close one. Raiders had a couple of opportunities down the stretch and just couldn't take advantage, but Arnold finishes on the year on a high note, 16-14 over the Raiders. And there was and I'm trying to pull up what Coach Hankerson sent me a couple of stat lines, but of what I remember, it was a penalty-filled game. Just a lot of flags. I think for the most part, I think there was 17 flags for 150 yards. So
for
that's
who?
A lot of yellow on the ground.
Who got the most?
I'm pretty sure the visiting team did. But
2-point loss.
Yeah, Rickards kind of had they kind of had Arnold on the ropes for a little bit in the second half, and then Arnold came back and was able to kind of cap it with a 9-point fourth quarter barrage there to kind of end the game. Carlise Price led the Raiders offense 17 for 19 with two TDs. And then defensively, of course, Jalen Wiggins, 5 tackles, 4 sacks. So nice effort, but Arnold closes out the regular season. They are off this week, so that will do it for them. They'll wait and find out where they are placed come playoff time, and the Raiders may need a little bit of help. The schedule, their schedule kind of helps them out a little bit, but in the rankings, I think they took a slip for a little bit. So we'll see what happens as we get closer to Selection Sunday, as it were. But man, that's just a kind of really, for the Raiders, kind of really explains a little bit about their, not explains, but kind of really, surmises a little bit of their season there with just several losses that 2 points, 3 points or less. So I know Coach Lewis knew his team got a lot of young guys in, but I'm sure that given the opportunity, ball bounces a little bit of a different way, and the Raiders have a completely different record.
Yeah. It was an up and down season. He knew he had a young football team. He liked what he saw. A couple of close games that could have went either way. Making the playoffs was a goal, and I don't know how it would shake out. When will the brackets get out? When will they know?
After the bonus week, from what I was told.
Okay.
I think it's that Sunday, maybe earlier. I haven't seen any formal announcement, but they usually do it the Sunday after the last week is what they've kind of been doing. I don't know if that timeline's changed. But yeah, going to Rick, this might be the one. And if they don't get in, which it will be very close, I don't see more of a bubble team in the area outside of Rural Ball, which Rural Ball is a Shark Tank. Anybody from 1A to 5A in our competitions, I don't know that there's any more at-risk team right now than Rickards. They are going to be pins and needles the next 2 weeks. And this was the thing. You had a team that you liked your chances against Arnold, and they were sitting at 6-7 in the region. Arnold wins, they stay at 6. Rickards drops down, and Columbia is that 9 team. So Columbia is looming, and they've closed the gap. That is very close. It's basically a coin flip to see who gets in versus Columbia versus Rickards. That could legit go either way, and it's probably going to come down to strength of schedule. And it's going to be tough because you fast forward, Rickards got Lincoln this week.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. Although the opportunities were there, Lincoln will be a tall order.
Need a storm or something. That's not a good matchup for Rickards.
So, I was trying to take a peek at the rankings. I wasn't able to get to the page. But, yeah, I know the Raiders are sitting right there. They'll need some help going down the stretch. Just a tough loss. But, for Rickards, one of those things is that, you really have to look at, they will graduate a few guys on defense, but there are quite a few guys on offense where the future looks bright. And so you just you have to take everything into, contention just with, how the team grows and everything. And, hopefully those guys will be able to bounce back and be a part of the Raider squad next year that'll be a little bit more experienced. Bluntstown was a big win over Holmes County, 40-20. And don't look now, but I think Bluntstown has really righted things in their favor as they get a big win over Holmes County. Childs takes care of business against Leon, 40-0. And let me check that score again just to make sure I was right. I don't know.
That's legit. Yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I always got to double check stuff, but yeah, Childs gets. I think that's their 3rd win on the year, and for them, they've got a good nucleus of young guys that definitely will make them still a team with a lot of potential coming into next year. But for the T-Wolves, I think it was just one of those where they really wanted to send out the senior class on a high note, and the last couple of wins have been really defining for them, and congrats to those guys. Now moving down, a great one down in Panama City between Rutherford and Bay. Bay takes it 21-13 over Rutherford, And this was just a classic matchup, just two cross city rivals going head to head. And for Bay, this was one that I felt like might have really given them a lot of momentum as we start rounding out the regular season.
Yeah, Mark, I felt for Rutherford because they came so close. If they'd have pushed over a couple of those games, they might be talking playoffs because they came close in most of their games and just couldn't get over the hump. They just couldn't make it, couldn't get that final push. And Bay High, I think you said they won the district. I think they're in the playoffs. And their records is not too different, if I'm not mistaken. But you got to win those games. You got to win. You can't when you get trying to get in the playoffs. You got to knock off the teams that's in your district or in your region. They have a chance to make the playoffs. Making the playoffs is big.
There you go. You can see it there. That's JDV. John DeVos is a backup quarterback. Yeah. Of course, got injured in the district championship game, and he's been slinging it last couple weeks here for Bay and keeping the momentum alive. And you love to see it. Somebody stepping up and kind of adverse. I think he's only like a sophomore.
Yeah, they've got a lot of young, talented guys. This could be a dangerous team. In 2025, they've got a lot of youth with a lot of talent, just raw talent. Like he outran the cameraman there. You can see there on the run. But for Rutherford, the same is also true. They've got a lot of young guys that are talented, and they've been knocking at the door for quite a bit. And that's one of those where you really, you hope to see them turn a corner as they kind of matriculate through the program. But both coaches have definitely put their programs on an upswing over the past couple of seasons.
And things are going to keep rolling for Bay. Like you said, going to the playoffs.
Yeah, Bay is definitely going to the show. I think that was one of the things that kind of, with the way that they started the season, I think that kind of shocked a few people. But, you win your district, you win. That's all that matters. So this one, we don't need to spend too much time on it, but John Paul, just a huge winner over FAMU DRS, 74-0. And, we talked about points and how valuable they are. And John Paul just said, no, I'm not leaving anything to chance. We want to make sure. That's kind of rough, being a district champion like that. You kind of wondered if it just got out of hand. But, yeah, FAMU DRS is still winless on the year. But John Paul just kind of, I think, even towards the latter part of the fourth quarter, they just had a bunch of young guys in, and they were still giving DRS a lot of work.
Mark, they were up 58-0 in halftime. They didn't need much work to go. The game was pretty much over before halftime.
Yeah, that's part of you see a lot more this year. It's not a coincidence that you see 60s and 70s more this year than in previous. The points incentivize you to absolutely blow out teams. And so people are trying to make the playoffs and they're trying to help their seeding. And I think this is one of those cases, an unfortunate trickle-down effect of the situation that we're under right now.
Yeah, there's just a lot of you got to ask some questions to the FHSA at this point. But, for right now, it's just, this is the landscape we're in. So a lot of what, I have seen is just, teams really just trying to take advantage of the system as it exists. So this is just the status quo right now. Port St. Joe, a big winner over Sneads. And, don't look now, but the Tiger Sharks have really, rebounded in this season, especially after a tragic loss like that. You wonder, how kids can respond. And, man, my hat's off to the Port St. Joe community and the staff. They have really rallied around these kids. For the most part, you just kind of wonder, it gets bigger than football in a lot of ways. But Port St. Joe has really taken to the key of playing for pride for a lot of things, and they definitely have a lot to play for. It's a great community down there, and they've got a rich football history, and a lot of times the spotlight gets shined on you for negative reasons, but I think they're finding a way to make it into turning a big negative into a big positive right now.
Yeah, understanding how tragedy affects a football team, affects anybody, the community, and kids. This is something new. A lot of them, they never faced something like this, and it's amazing that they came through and played so well at the end. And I guess that's a credit to the community and the coaches that they deal with. And they look like they got back on track, and they're going strong.
Yeah, great to see them come together instead of falling apart. And I know, like we said, football is kind of a tertiary issue here, but they got it going on, and we've always talked about it. Port St. Joe, dangerous place to play, and if you can get some home games here down the stretch for Port St. Joe, they've actually come back into the mix here in the playoff conversation. And also they're doing it in the passing game too. I think Hensley had almost 300 last week with 2 touchdowns. So not just the run game with Harris, which has been kind of a success towards that middle part of the season. Port St. Joe's getting it going on, playing some good ball here down the stretch.
Other scores from around the area: Lafayette, a big winner over Franklin County. And, I thought this game would be a lot closer, given the fact that I believe Franklin was hosting this game. And, Hornets said, nah, we've got we've got the upper hand here. And I think that, Lafayette has played a lot of teams that are just, they played Chiefland. They have played they've kind of played up above their level. And, this could be one of those where if they do get we'll have to check with Coach Edwards, but if they do get a bonus game, it could pay off dividends, because you get hot at the right time, you can make a lot of noise in the playoff. And I think that this was a resounding win over a very good Franklin County football team, 39-6. So, this could be one of those where don't look now, but we could be seeing Lafayette make some teams, actually having to make them earn it in the playoffs, and they could be one of those teams that kind of upset some people and shock some people if they get in.
Yeah, Lafayette kind of was slipping in. You really weren't paying much attention to them. They played a very difficult schedule, and looked like in the last couple of weeks they kind of turned it up. And then Franklin, who has one of the better seasons in school history. I think the best record they ever had was 6-4, and I'm sure they're pretty close past that with the season coming to the end. And so that's a nice victory for Lafayette, playing a team with a winning record and doing good.
Yeah.
So there's going to be, there's still going to be a lot of things that will shake out here, especially with the bonus week. So we'll get a chance to see how that works in favor of a lot of our 1A teams and our rural teams, and see how that works, because we have the the A and the B bracket. So you never really know how things are going to be placed. It's a weird system right now, but we'll see how it shakes out. Bozeman, a big winner over North Bay Haven, and this one was just all Bucks all the time. Like they, actually are one of the teams in the area that's surging right now, and you can see why. Just this is a team that we kind of didn't know how this team would look, given the fact that they lost their head coach from last year, who's now at Arnold, Coach Griffin, and Coach. The current coach steps in and just kind of picks up the formula, and I think this team has started to turn a corner in the latter part of the season.
Yeah, Marky, they're doing pretty good. They were kind of struggling there one part of the season. They turned things around, and they look like a pretty good football team. Somebody you don't want to face down the road. And North Bay Haven, they kind of feel bad for them. They lost their coach like a week or two before the season. The coach had to come in and kind of pick things up, and they struggle all year long. This year, hopefully, you have a whole season to or off season to get ready, and they'll do a lot better than they did this year.
Yeah, for sure. Bozeman's getting hot right now, to your point. I think they won 3 straight, 4 out of 5, and they get a home matchup here today, or this coming week, as they're trying to creep into the playoffs. Have not lost, or the only loss at home this year was to Mosley. So they play some good ball at home, too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting as we move forward. I'm so interested in this bonus week and seeing what the points are gonna shake out, because it's going to determine where teams fall in the bracket. And so Bozeman's one of those teams that has, they put forth a lot of effort to make sure that they can be in contention, but you had the loss, which was a fairly close loss, at Arnold, 42-34. They were in that game for quite a bit. Of course, ran into the juggernaut that is Mariana right now. The head scratcher was the loss to Destin. I think that was the one that I didn't see coming, but they've got hot back into the driver's seat and they're looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, I think so. You try to you play these games. These kids are 16, 15 years old, 17, and you don't know what's on their mind. They might bring their A game one week, and then you wonder, because these are the same kids we've been talking to all week. We've been coaching. What's up? And look like some of these teams learn to come up and make mature at the end of the season, which is when you want to do.
Yeah, and they're hanging tough, too, and this is a team that got bumped up, not just one classification, gang, but they got bumped up all the way from rural to 2A. So they're actually 2 classifications up from where they were last year. They're still hanging tough, and they're going to be in the conversation for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, it'll be definitely. It's just one of those where I look at how this team has kind of endured a little bit, with the coaching change and everything. But I think that this will end up being one of those where we'll see what shakes out when it gets. We'll see what shakes out in the next 10 days when we get close to the playoffs. Other scores from around the area: Walton, a huge winner over Freeport, 55-6. Cottondale over Vernon. I don't think there was any surprise there. The way the hornet, the battle of the winged stinging insects, as it were, with Cottondale taking the win in that one. Osceola Christian remains undefeated. They have a showdown with Franklin County coming up. They're a big winner over Spring Creek, 49-0. Hamilton County, and this was the one where we, I would have thought that Trojans would have had a little bit more left in the tank, but they fall to Trenton 46-50 in a close one. And then Jefferson County falls to Branford 30-43. And that one, I think for the Tigers, they've performed better than expected. I think they've come out this season and really have done a lot to kind of showcase, that this program is going in a different direction. But yeah, it's hard when you lose on the road like that. And, this is one of those where, this team is still very young and still trying to grow in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it's kind of a surprise because we were looking at them as a big improvement. And lately they've had a little struggles. The teams that you thought they might be, they fall to them. But that's how young programs are. They're on their way up, and you just got to fight through it. I'm not sure about the playoff situation. Like, you guys are the expert on that. What you got me? Barely out, barely in.
Yeah, probably the latter half of that, Coach. It's probably on the outside looking in. But they're in the conversation. They still got a shot, though, finishing strong. But yeah, the big senior running back, Voigt, I think it is, for Branford, they'll run him out of the Wildcat all day long. He'll be a tailback. He does pretty much everything. They jumped out to a big league, and credit to Jefferson, they battled all the way back, made it interesting down the stretch. They're in the fourth, and then Branford got a go-away touchdown to make it kind of 2 scores. But at least in that end of that fourth quarter, it was closer than the scoreboard indicates there.
Yeah.
Other scores from around the area: Lincoln handles Ugali, who was previously undefeated, 38-17, flexing the Trojan muscles. And, for this one, I think that Lincoln just kind of put themselves, just kind of really showcase why they are one of the teams to beat. When you look at the Niceville loss, it was kind of one of those things where um, they had a great opportunity to try and secure the comeback and just kind of fell short. But anytime you take on an undefeated team, you kind of don't know what's what. But man, you can see here Sims had a great game. Was definitely showing off why he's one of the top quarterbacks in the area. And for Lincoln, this is one of those where it's just like, nah, you cannot sleep on the Trojans or give them an inch, because they will find a way to make you pay. And the defense has been playing stellar all season long.
Yeah, the Trojans, I watched this game, and I was kind of surprised. I thought with an 8-0 team, they would have a little bit more difficulty, but they dominated this game. It really surprised me how much and what this final score was. But that goes, like you said, goes to show you how good the Lincoln Trojans really are. And they put on a performance last week and handled that game, beat up Egali.
Yeah, they look real good. That was a 4-touchdown spread going down late. I think it was 38-10. But yeah, like you're saying, Mark, the defense is looking mean. And I feel like Lincoln is peaking. I know they lost at Niceville, with the touchdown under a minute to go, that Niceville actually had to come back despite the huge lead early in the game. But the defense has got it going on. I mean, they're out there blocking kicks. I think Gavin James blocked a kick out there. Yeah. And this was a team that came in not only undefeated, but with some high-profile guys, and especially on the defensive line, and they shut them down. I mean, this was a emphatic win. This wasn't a heavyweight battle that was back and forth. It was O'Galley had the early touchdown, and that was it. Lincoln basically shut down the bank. They got in there with a last-second withdrawal, but then it was closed, and nothing else was getting outside on Lincoln. They looked strong.
And you can definitely see that Lincoln, the defense is so opportunistic. They create turnover opportunities. This is the strength of this team, in my opinion. And I think moving forward is just how can Christian Sims take advantage of the opportunities his defense is giving them, because they're going to create a ripple where the offense is going to have a chance to get back on the field. So yeah, shout out to Lincoln on senior night. Got a big 38-17 win. I'm going to drop down while I pull up the McClay stuff per 4Quartersonline. But Madison County, a big winner over Apopka, 13-7. And this is where, when you take a look at how Madison just keeps playing up, and like they keep creating opportunities to play bigger opponents, and they keep taking them down. So, this is one of those where, when you look at how they have really been able to, be giant killers. This is another game. You go into Boo Hill, you take your chances.
Yeah, Madison is Madison. I mean, they have a reputation of playing up and playing good, being a defeating these bigger teams. I mean, if you once at one time you saw the name of Apopka playing Madison, you automatically go with Apopka. They are a storied program, been in the state finals, state championships, been successful, and Madison just the defense holds them to one score, and the offense scored just enough, and that's big. I do not want to play these guys in the playoffs. You don't want to see this team. They're used to winning, and the team is used to winning. Their reputation, and they just keep doing it over no matter what.
Yeah, and you talk about home environments, they take care of business. And that's the thing. Sometimes it's not pretty, but they make you play their game. And a lot of times that's how they get teams. They play that run game. And then, like you said with Lincoln, Mark, they had the opportunistic defense. That's a 7-7 game, or it was either 6-7 or 7-7 in the fourth quarter. Apopka's driving, but then they get the big turn or the big interception. I think Zamarian West. And then basically 2 plays later, you had the monster ripoff here by LJ Crumity, and that was the game decision. And then they were able to lock it down for the last drive. I mean, you're going to win a lot of ball games if you let up 1 score per game. So shout out to Scurry and the rest of the boys on defense there. But they play a mean style of ball, and it's hard to get out of there, not only with a win, but without a bunch of bruises as well, taking the bus back down to Central Florida.
Yeah, it makes you wonder about how Madison is going to look come playoff time, because this, if you're getting tune-ups like these against 6A and 7A powers, like, yeah, it's no doubt in my mind that this is going to be a regional finalist. You will see Madison as one of the Final Four teams just by virtue of the level of competition they played. All right, now let's back up and go ahead and jump up to Maclay taking on Deerfield Windsor. And, for the Marauders, this is one where, I look at how they've just been able to just kind of bounce back and kind of keep the ball rolling. This was a tough Deerfield team that came into Maclay, and I think Maclay just wasn't having it on senior night. And, for the Marauders, it was one of those where I think they knew they were going to be going into a game that this is going to be physical, this is going to be ground and pound, but, man, they answered the call and they came away with a 28-21 win.
Well, that's all you want as a coach. Let's win at the end. Let's get better and better. They played some good competition. Had a tough loss there with the John Paul Panthers. I like what I saw from this team, and they're doing very well. They got a great kicking game, punting and kicking the ball, which is dangerous. They keep them in any game, and a solid defense. They pulled out, and that's a very good team from Georgia, Deerfield Windsor.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Mark was talking about senior night for Lincoln, and Maclay showed out. This was an upset. This is a really good team from South Georgia. They're up there with Valwood, and they beat Valwood pretty good and a couple of those other area teams. And as far as the profile of this team, this looks like a team that's going to make a run deep in that Georgia playoff with their classification. And Maclay, the seniors, balled out. Nash Bashirs, you saw the rushing touchdown on there. George Grant was balling out, and then getting back.
The move here he put on, trying to catch it just right. But you guys called a great game. It definitely looked like a whoop.
That was the thing, but I mean, Bashir's was going absolutely insane. So he had this one where he's breaking ankles, and then he had another one where there was literally a defender on his back, and he carried him about 15 yards until the rest of the team showed up. And then BB Potter is healthy. He was absolutely insane, crazy game at the linebacker position. And if he's playing like that, and your line with Rollins Miller and Abram Wildrick are playing, this is a dangerous team. That can give you some problems here in 1A, and they got a big jump. There's a potential that they could be hosting not only one, but a couple games in the playoffs, and they did not win the district.
Yeah.
Because of what they've been doing outside of district play and with the schedule and the good opponents they've been going up with and getting wins.
Yeah, this is where, I just think the strength of this team is definitely going to be, right there where what BB Potter does. He just plugs that hole. And that's one of those things where it's just like, man, they really missed him when he was out. But now having him back is just one of those, man, I know Coach Coley is breathing a sigh of relief, especially after a performance like that against a very tough Deerfield team. So moving on around the area, Mosley finally wrapped up the district in the battle of the Dolphins. And, for Coach Whidden, this was actually just one of those where, I look at how Mosley has played, and again, they just block so well. This is the best blocking team I've seen in the area. Like, it just, you see guys, as soon as the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, you just see guys getting after it. Look at the receiver blocking downfield. He sets up a great block. The offensive line, man, they do work. Look, just watch how they move in unison to set things up. And just honestly, that's just the strength of this team right now. It's just the kind of physicality they have on the line.
Well, when you win in the trenches, Mark, you win the game. The guys on both sides of the line dominate. They not only dominate the offensive line, they dominate on the defensive side. And when you can push guys around like you want to, you can do whatever you want in the game. And look like that's what they did. They dominated the line of scrimmage. Quarterback had all day. Running backs had holes so big to run through. No surprise on the outcome.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, we say it every week, right? It's every 3 or 4 days we're beating the same drum, but that's what they do. They make it look easy, and it's a good team. And really, Niceville was the only team that challenged them, gang.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting down the stretch. They had the weird rankings mix up last week, but due to the schedule evening out, they're rightly so back atop Region 1.
As they should be.
Yeah, of course. And this is one of the top dogs here in the state. They're going to be fun to watch here. But all three of those teams, Niceville, Mosley, Lincoln, it is razor thin, the margins. Any one of those teams could go 1-3.
Yeah, this is going to be one of our non-rural teams. This is going to be, or should I say, in this classification, it's going to be the best one to watch. You've got and I would just say the explosive firepower of what Mosley does on offense is definitely going to keep people entertained. But I can't take my eyes off of what they do on the offensive line. I just feel like that's one of the things when you see that working at the rate that it's working, you're going to see a good football team coming behind it, and it just shows. NFC falls to Jerapath 28-60 in a tough season for the Eagles, and it ends on a tough low note. For NFC, just the numbers were down this year. They didn't have a lot of depth, and it just, I think that there were a couple of bright spots here and there with a couple of playmakers I know that they have, but it just weren't able to put together anything that was solid. And you're not used to seeing NFC in this position.
Well, it happens to the best of us. You talk about some of the teams that played over this year in the area, thinking back when they used to be powerhouses. And, I mean, it's not like the pros. The kids leave and they come and go. And when some of the best players leave, sometimes the ones that's left not that good. And it's a big surprise when it comes to NFC. They've always looked like every year competing for a playoff run, a state title run. It's not. They won. Well, how many? I don't want to misquote it. Is it 7, 8?
It's 8.
I think 8. Yeah, I think so.
I don't want to miss because I'm sure that somebody will tell me. This has just been a down year for them.
Yeah, for sure. That's there have been some bright spots. The junior coin quarterback, he's fun. The young running back, Bert, he's going to be a beast in the area here to come. Zarephath, at least this season's got an offense that's absolutely electric. So they get the dub, and it looks like now the NFC's played their full 10. They're going to need a lot of help to sneak into the playoffs. So, yep, looks like this is the end of the road here for the Eagles.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll be seeing the Eagles in the postseason, which is weird. I got to go back and check. I don't know when the last time that they missed a postseason was.
Ooh, that's a great question.
Yeah. That might be a 20-year run that may have come to an end if they don't get some serious help at the last minute.
That's a lot of help.
Yeah.
That's a lot of help.
South Walton falls to Pensacola Catholic 7-45. Man, for the nomadic Seahawks, it comes to an end next week as they get their third home game, but the last game of the regular season will be played at home for them. So I know that'll be a great senior night for the Seahawks. Swanee, man, this was a surprise. Obviously, we didn't do our homework correctly, but the Bulldogs went down to Atlantic Coast and won big. And I think for something I think Kyler Hall may have found out something about his team, as they looked really good and really dominant against Atlantic Coast on the road.
Well, that's another program that used to be one of the dominant teams in the area, and look like Kyler is trying to get those guys back on track. He's an old Bulldog himself, and I think over the last couple of weeks they knocked off some pretty decent football teams. So, hey, go Bulldogs!
Yeah, they're healthy too, and that plays a big part of it. They had a massive injury in the preseason, and then all throughout the first half, they're getting healthy. They may be one of the sneakiest teams here in the state right now. They are creeping up. I don't know how they did. It's like some Undertaker type stuff, the way they've been catapulting up these rankings. Guys, they were 11th. I know for sure they were 11th 2 weeks ago. And they were basically buried. They might have been 12th the week before. And then all of a sudden, boom, they've got a couple wins. They got it going on. And now they've got a chance. They're playing the bonus week. They've got a chance against Wakulla in that bonus week to not only seal the deal, but there's an outside chance that they could host a playoff game if they beat Childs this week and Wakulla the week after on that Thursday.
Where is this game being played?
Which one?
When they play the bonus week, where they're playing Wakulla? Where?
I have to look that up.
That's a good question.
Is it in the budget for 4 quarters to beat it?
I think it's at Wakulla. It's a Thursday night game, and I think, according to Max Prep, it's at Wakulla.
Yeah, and that Childs game will be Swanee will host Childs.
Correct.
Down in Live Oak. Mm-hmm. So this is favorable. It's definitely favorable for the Bulldogs, and this is the right time to come to life.
If they win those 2 games, that should move them up in the point spreads, the points on it.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. We were Hitchcock Falls to Jay 41-0, and then Wakulla, a big winner on the road at Baker. And this is another team that's figuring it out as the season goes on, and they've definitely got some playmakers, some young guys that are really stepping up, and they went into one of the toughest places to play and came out with a huge win. As you can see, they were very opportunistic on defense. I think they came up with 3 or 4 turnovers. And man, you can see the interception return. Man, daylight like that. That's one of those things where you can, I don't think there's anything better than picking off something and you see daylight ahead of you.
Just he went down the sideline. All they had to do was get an angle and push him out of bounds. He was flying, and that's all.
But yeah, that'll do it for week number 10. 1 week remaining, and for the War Eagles, and I think so right now they're sitting number 10, and it's kind of weird the way the points, you can't really get a good gauge on it. But there will be an opportunity for quite a few teams to make some more noise. But that Swanee game will be absolutely crucial for their playoff hopes. But downing Baker on the road would definitely help them moving forward. And that'll do it for the rewind. Week number 10 just is kind of one of those things where you want to be able to see who's going to separate themselves. And I think we saw a lot of. I think we saw some future playoff teams, especially with the Bulldogs, and looking at the way that they played.
Yeah, I think so, man. It's getting exciting coming into the playoffs with some of these teams, and you never know. I don't understand this system that well. I think I'll be honest. If I was coaching now, I'd be stressed out because the points. That mean the team that you might not have nothing to do with the other teams that's playing. And they might move up over you without you losing a game. It look, going by points. And me personally, I like to know if I win. If I win, I win. I go to the playoffs if we win this game, not worrying about some formula trying to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's wild. But to your point, Mark Swanee, they got a guy, MJ Rawson. He's absolutely electric, wide receiver, running back out there. He's really been going off kind of down the stretch. They've been getting healthy, as has the junior quarterback. Fun. And yeah, you talk about those point systems, Coach Childs. They're at the same exact point they have been for 4 years in a row. They're like the perennial bubble team.
Yeah, they are.
There is a path for Childs to get in. So don't sell your tickets on the Timberwolves. If you want, you got to be rooting for North Marion this weekend to take down Middleburg. That's really going to help the cause here for Childs.
When you look at Childs, I think they had one. Childs was one that they actually had to bat down a pass, and that would have made them a district champion. that was several years back. I think that was 2015, 2016, somewhere in there. And to your point, they're like they're perennial like bubble team. All right, let's go ahead and take care of some housekeeping, some house business. Coach, congratulations.
There he is.
Salute. On the comeback for week number 10. I give you props.
I should be in first place. You're not showing that because of me. You're showing that because of me.
Well, that's just last week. He hasn't gotten to the season yet.
No, I haven't gotten to the season.
But I already know.
Hey, we both went 17-4 last week. I felt like there was, I didn't see the Baker County game coming, and I definitely didn't. I don't think I picked Swanee last week. So, I do think that a couple of those games, here and there, like, there were a few near misses, but yeah, for as much as we disagreed to last week, looking at where we sit now, but yeah, getting to the overall, you right there. You right there. You in the thick of things.
Hey.
Don't let Juke catch you though.
Don't let what?
Don't let Juke catch you. He's right there on you.
I can't do nothing about it.
He's been getting me pretty good here lately, Mark, and it's 0.06%. It may be one pick that is the difference between Coach and I right now.
It's just like the playoffs, huh?
Yeah, I am the Childs of this group right now. Definitely on the outside looking in. But I've got hope that we're going to finish strong.
Look, the reason we're looking at this like this right now is because somebody's in first place, and they want
to. Somebody is me. I'm gonna take a sip of the championship lemonade right here.
Yeah, when I was in first, Coach, I don't remember any graphics for week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. No graphics going up those weeks.
You got to be in control, Juke. You got to be in control.
Hey, Juke is running the numbers. I don't know what kind of algorithm or formula he can.
You're talking about.
He controls the Excel spreadsheet. I'm not even an Excel guy. He could throw in any formula in there.
I guarantee if he was behind you, you'll figure it out. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna have to overtake everybody this week.
All right, well let's go ahead and jump into it. I mean,
don't need all that conversation. I'm just picking.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it because let's go ahead and put up now. Let's put up the final week of the regular season is upon us. Week number 11, the schedule. Let's go ahead and kick it off. One of the biggest games of the year. It comes down to some of the bigger games of the year are in the last week of the regular season. We've got a doozy at Mike Hickman Stadium on Friday. We will be there live broadcasting that one on 4Quartersonline. But Florida High takes on surging Mosley at the Shack, and this one's going to be interesting. But with the way things are going right now, it's going to be hard for me to go against Mosley.
They look like one of the best teams in this area and in the state. So Mosley.
I'm thinking about it because Mosley, they've gone undefeated before, and they've got by a couple of our area teams before. Gadsden's got them. Leon's got them. But yeah, that line is too strong. I'm gonna go Mosley here again.
I thought you was gonna overthink.
I thought about it. I've been thinking about it.
Here's the thing for Florida High: if they can get into a rhythm at quarterback, and you know Hackett does a great job running the football, and I think defensively that is their strength. I think that's just kind of the only area where they lack the experience is at the quarterback position. And it's not that Cowie is not a great signal caller or won't turn into one. It's just I think it's just sometimes you need those reps under center, and I think he's getting them, and he's definitely growing into a much better signal caller. But man, I don't know. There's going to be that's one of those things where you look at Mosley, man. Freitas is just like playing on a different level, and that Mosley defense is definitely stupid opportunistic right now. They've come up with I think over the past several games they've had like 6 or 7 turnovers. So you got to kind of wonder if they're not going to be pinning their ears back and saying, "Hey, we smell blood in the water. Let's go ahead and make sure we get after the quarterback." Because I definitely think that will be one of the things they're going to be keying in on.
And it gives you pause because Florida High is capable. So that's what makes you think about it. It's not just an automatic, at least to me, it's not an automatic lock it in. And but I also think the motivation component is there for Mosley, because at the drop of a pin, they could drop the 3rd in the region. And I think that would be not that they couldn't do it on the road, but I mean, you want to be playing home ball and Thanksgiving.
It means something to a team when you go 10-0. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing that, those guys have their sights set on with the schedule that they've had, looking at the fact that they've got over one of their biggest hurdles in Niceville. I think this team is hungry to go 10-0, and I think they can get it done.
I have no commentary. Mosley.
All right, this one I really I struggle with this one, but Franklin County hosting. Let me make sure I got that right. But Franklin County hosting. No, excuse me. Yeah, Franklin County hosting Osceola Christian, and right now the Warriors are 9-0, sitting undefeated. Franklin County, I think, has played the tougher schedule. I struggled with it. I really wanted to see Osceola go 10-0, but I think Franklin County is going to get this one.
Ooh,
I'm gonna have to go with the Seahawks.
Osceola.
Oh, okay, Coach. He's taking the road team. This is a Thursday one, so that kind of gave me a pause. But Landon LaRosa and the Warriors. Let's go. Case perfection, 10-0. Mark on his island all alone.
I'm out here. I think the Seahawks have played a little bit up, and I've enjoyed watching Osceola. I think this will be a close game. I think Osceola has a lot of tricks up their sleeve. They do a lot of things very well. They don't turn the ball over. They are, I think, on defensive side, I think they're a team that can really, really punish you in a lot of ways. But just the level of competition, I gotta give it to Franklin.
Hey man, you made your pick once. Don't worry about it.
We're not here to make picks. We're here to break down the games, and
don't make excuses. We want your pick.
Hey, I've always stood on business. I ain't ducking, but I do think that this is going to be an interesting game. I definitely think that. Wakulla draws Gadsden County. This was going to be a big one, but I look at the way that, man, the Jags have been surging, and this is a team that just has a nasty offensive unit. And I'm gonna have to go with Gaston County here, even though this one's down in Crawfordville, which is can be a tough place to play. I think Wakulla will have to bring some of that. They have to bring some of that magic they had last week out in Baker County to try and close out the regular season. This definitely has implications on both teams' playoff not chances, but playoff positioning right now because just of how both teams are playing. But yeah, I got to go with Gaston County on this one.
Well, the way that the Jaguars have played all season, going to Tennessee, going to Georgia, they don't care about where they play the game at. They win anywhere. I'm going with the Jaguars.
Yeah, I'm with you guys as well. Of course, Tristan Davis, an outside chance at getting 1,000 yards. Camarion Battle's already got it behind this big offensive line. 2 rock star running backs are better than 1. I'm going Gadsden County here, gentlemen. County battle, though. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
All right. Chipley hosting Lafayette, and this was interesting. I'm looking at how, and I was trying to pull it up to see, just to double check to make sure I have this right on where the game is played.
I think it's at Chipley.
Yeah, but it'll definitely be at Chipley. I'm going Tigers at home. I think that they've done enough to get the job done. I know Lafayette is surging right now. I like the way that they have kind of bounced back a little bit, but I like the Tigers at home.
I hate that because I'm going with Chipley also. I mean, dang. I wanted to get ahead on it. I need to beat you by 2 or 3 games or something.
Yeah.
Can't pick.
I don't think that they've led up more than 1 score at home all year. They've been playing mean defense, and especially at home. If they are going to get got, it would be against a team like Lafayette. They can sling it in the passing game, but I'm still holding the line. I'm also jumping on the Chipley train. Give me the Tigers.
We all on the same.
All right. Moving on around the area, Suwannee hosting Childs. I'm going Bulldogs. Like what I've seen over the past couple of weeks, this team looks like they've figured some things out and they've gotten healthy. Give me the Dogs.
Oh, I thought you was going to pick the Timberwolves, but you sure you don't want to change that? Mark?
No, I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
Let's go with
the championship lemonade.
I'm going with the Bulldogs.
Ooh, there's a really wild storyline in one of these universes out here, gang. But the one that we're in, I think I'm going to go with the team that's got it going on right now. Suwannee Bulldogs. Keep it rolling.
Use that formula you've been using the last couple of weeks, man. Come on.
Hey, Swanee's got it going on, man. MJ Rawson. Explosive.
Wow. There's some great games going on.
Yeah, absolutely. Lincoln taking on Rickards to close out the regular season. Sorry, I'm going Trojans.
It hurts me, but I'm trying to win. I'm going Trojans.
I'm glad we finally wore Coach down, Mark, because he was sticking to his loyalty.
Yeah, he was.
But he's all about business. I respect that either way, Coach. I'm also going Lincoln. They're trying to chase down that number 1 seed. Yeah. There's a scenario where they can pass Mosley, and I think that they want it. They want it all.
Yeah, especially if they win big. All right, Walton, Bluntstown.
Dang.
This was a tough one, but away from the friendly confines of Bowles Field. This one's going to be out in Defuniak. I'm going Braves.
Oh, it's in Defuniak? Oh, I'm going.
Yeah, Bettenhausen has been playing amazing ball, and I think this defense bounces back. Don't sleep on, Scion out in Bluntstown. They've got playmakers and ballers, but I think they'll be a little bit outmatched on the road.
That is a great matchup. The but I got, I'm going with the Braves.
Yep, I'm going to make it me as well, gang. I know Bluntstown's won 4 straight, but at home, giving the advantage to Walton, I'm with the passing game. I'm with the offense, and it's hard to stop that train.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Port St. Joe hosting Jefferson County. This one's down in the Joe. I look at the way the Tiger Sharks are playing inspired ball, and it's hard for me to go against them. Give me the Sharks.
Dang. Port St. Joe. Trying to win. Can't go with that recipe that gets you beat. So, Port St. Joe.
Yeah, I want to go contrarian, but I got to hop on board. Taking the Sharks passing game going, like I said, Hensley and Harris, mean tandem on offense. I'm liking the defense, and once again, they are vicious at home. Tiger Sharks.
All right, North Bay Haven hosting Sneeds. Buccaneers winless. It's the Buccaneers versus the Pirates. Give me Sneeds. I think Coach Thomas gets one to round out the regular season.
I agree. Let's go with Sneed.
Yeah, it's like a beautiful poem about the Oakland Raiders, Mark, talking about pirates and the autumn winds here, the Buccaneers, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm with Pius here in the Sneeds run game. I say they get it going on with an outside chance to try to slide into the playoffs, though. It's going to be tough.
All right. This one had me kind of I really thought about this one because I think Bozeman's playing great ball right now. I think Bay wants to end the season on a high note. They host. Yeah, give me the Tornadoes. This one's going to be close.
Finally, I'm going with Bozeman. Gotta take a chance.
Yeah, Coach and I have been on the same page, and let's do it again. I'm about the Bucks.
I'm about myself. Gotcha.
The Bucks with a K.
I got you. Keeping the same.
Yeah, 4 out of 5. Bozeman is rolling lately. Second half of the season, they got it going on.
Yeah, they do. Freeport, Liberty County. Yeah. Battle of the Bulldogs. I think I'm going Freeport on this one. Liberty's been playing really good ball lately. I may.
You got it.
Chess was like checkers as soon as you take your hand off the piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Freeport.
Hey,
that's good. I got another chance. I'm going with the Liberty Bulldogs, making it 2 in a row.
Okay. Absolutely. Let's go, Coach. Hands in hand, give me Liberty or give me death. Let's go. The offense has been absolutely explosive the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think they figured out some things down there, but yeah, I'm sticking with them. Going with Freeport. Taylor County, McClay.
Wow, I did not see that.
Yeah. This one's been, I think both teams kind of they do match up very well. I know McClay may not have the same they may not have played the same level of competition, but I was really impressed with how they played against Deerfield last week. Taylor County, I think there may be a couple of pieces missing from the picture right now, and this is gonna be hard, man. I don't know that I've decided this one just yet. I think Taylor has definitely played the tougher schedule. I'm gonna say Bulldogs by 3.
I thought you was gonna pick McClay.
Yeah, I thought you was gonna do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Taylor County on this. I think,
and this is at Taylor.
Will McLeod says it's a homecoming, so they got the dub. So I'm gonna hand it to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Taylor County on this one.
Yeah, shout
out
Shout out to Will, by the way. Will's on every week, so shout out to Will. Giving the Bulldogs some love. I agree. I think they'll get it right here coming back home. And they shut Gadsden County out last week in that minute 40-second game that they played before the power went out.
That's because the clock, the lights went out. They were on like the 3-yard line.
For 100 seconds, they kept Gadsden off the scoreboard. All I know is it was zeros when everybody went into the dark. What a wild situation that was last week that we didn't really talk about in depth. That's a fun of high school ball. All that to being said, as always, long response short. Taylor County. Let's go the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Will is like he's like, yeah, I got to look out for my boys. I ain't mad at that at all. I appreciate that. Moving on around the area, we got Mariana going into South Walton. I'm going with the Bulldogs. I think they make it a perfect 10-0. We're looking at 3 or 4 teams that's trying to make it 10-0.
Man, I'm going with the Bulldogs.
I mean, that's what you want. End of the season, right, guys? You want some dogs coming through, whether it's Swanee, whether it's Liberty, whether it's Taylor County. Keep the trend going. Let's go Mariana. Perfection potentially here for the regular season, gentlemen. We still got a couple area teams that can go 10-0.
Yeah. Yeah, we are Alcilla knocking at the door. Mosley's knocking at the door. Mariana.
Cottondale.
Now that brings up Cottondale taking on Joshua Academy. Give me Cottondale. No question.
Question. Where is this game being played?
Don't matter.
I just asked the question, man. You got to help me
out. I think Cottondale hosts.
Correct.
Cottondale.
Cottondale is the home team. I'm with Coach as well. Let's go finish out the regular season strong because why not?
Yeah. I got Marion and Cottondale for representing Jackson County. When was the last time there were 2 10-0 teams out in Jackson County? That's sad.
Does it count if Cottondale's only 9-0? Because this will only be their 9th game, and I don't think they're picking up an extra one.
Ooh, yeah.
Would that still count in your situation, Mark?
I think it would. When was the last time we had 2 Jackson County teams that went undefeated in the regular season?
Fair.
That's tough.
That's it. We gotta go dig it. I remember when Graceville went 10-0. That was a while. I think that was 2004, 2003. So.
It might have been.
All right, keeping it rolling. God be on the road, hitting the road in Dothan. Give me the Cougars. Don't act surprised. Let's just get it over with. I'm going God be.
I hate to pick it, but it's Cougars.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun battle. They got that Southern Miss commit on the line, does Dothan. But the freshman, Terry Atkins, I think 6 sacks in the last 3 games. He's been coming on strong down the stretch. And I don't think that Dothan's really seen a passing attack like Godby's this season. A lot of run-heavy teams.
Yep.
Maybe Central, a team that they played maybe about a month ago. But Godby can sling it, man. I don't know if Dothan's ready for it, to be honest.
It's a bad day when I got to pick. To go with Mark. Yeah.
Hey, I'm good luck. Leon taking on Westside.
Mark, do you remember
2 weeks ago, and I'm still standing on it. Give me the Lions. Leon, hey, Coach Mosley and his bunch get it done. They find a way. They're taking on a Westside team that is 1-8. I think the Lions are playing. They're playing for a lot more than pride. I don't think that they want to go winless this year. I don't know if that's ever happened to Leon, if they've ever gone winless before.
If it ain't in the record books, I doubt it.
So, yeah, I don't think Leon wants to make history the wrong way. I see them getting the dub. Give me Leon.
Where is this game being played?
Oh, it's going to be here in the capital city.
Yeah.
Now, who is Westside?
Jacksonville.
It's in Jacksonville?
Mm-hmm.
No, that I thought it was. I thought it was a school that was Nathan B. Forrest, but that's not them. I don't think that's them. It could be, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, I'm going with Westside then. I can't catch you if I keep going with you.
That's fair. I picked Tharp Street, and I'm gonna stay on the west side. So give me the visitors from Jacksonville.
Ooh. Nah, I'm going Leon. Good luck, gentlemen. Madison taking on Lake Mineola, and this one is going to be at Boot Hill. I'm going Cowboys.
Me too. I'm surprised that team was in the state finals, I think, about 3 or 4 years ago, weren't
it? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's another high classification team. In Madison, did they have to go on the road for this one, or is this one at home?
No, it's at Boot Hill.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I like their chances. Keep it rolling, and I'm going Madison as well. And I just pulled up the record books. Last time Leon went winless was 17-18 season, 2017.
Ooh. Yeah.
But before that, I don't know if it ever happened.
It was ever. Yeah.
Gee.
You know, we'll get into it later, but I wonder if Leon should reclassify. Just kind of
You're independent because.
Well, you know, there's some interesting aspects about Leon where
you can't just drop or drop down.
No. There's some interesting aspects about Leon where they're a fine art school, and that if you classify as a fine art school, that kind of changes certain things in the bylaws on what your student population is. Had a great conversation with Coach Cruz about it, but for right now, they are where they are. DRS, if they're gonna get it done, now's the time. They're taking on the 2-6 Houston County, Alabama team that kind of, you know, has some favorable odds, but they got to do it on the road. So,
Mark, talking to some of those people, I'm not sure they're playing that game, and we could pick it and find out later, but I'll find out tomorrow.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that one, but yeah, I don't know. If FAMU High is gonna, if they want to get a win on the year, this is when they'll have to take advantage of that opportunity. But yeah, I think that DRS has had, you know, just a rough and tumble season. I don't see them pulling this one out. I know that Houston County may not be the opponent that sounds too formidable, but yeah, I think I may have to go in the opposite direction on this one.
What do you mean? You picking FAMU?
No, I'm going with Houston.
Man, you said you was gonna pick them today.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. Let's get the tape. Let's watch the tape.
Please show me that tape.
I got Houston.
Yeah, Houston's actually coming in pretty strong. I think they won 3 of 4 coming down the stretch. They dropped it last week, but I'm liking the offense of what they got going on. I think McMillan's a future star for FAMU, but I'm going to have to go Houston here.
Yeah. Hamilton County at Branford. I felt like they were close against Trenton just last week, but yeah, Branford, I think they've been able to figure out some things down the stretch. They're looking like a much improved ball club. So I'm going to have to go with the Buccaneers on this one. Give me Branford.
I'll take Branford too. They looked pretty good last week.
Mm-hmm.
They beat a quality team in Jefferson. So Branford.
Yeah, they got Voigt and Land. Nice little gruesome twosome at running back. And then I think, according to Max Preps, Hamilton hasn't beat Branford since 2014. So I'm going to say one more year. I'm going to go with the Pirates this one.
All right, we were taking on Central, going with the Gators.
Oh, I think that's a good pick because I'm going with the Gators too. We won.
Yeah, that's down in the swamp, or is it over at Central?
No, that's going to be down in the. Nope, it's down in the swamp.
Okay, yeah, I got Weewa with that one.
All right, Panthers on an uptick, but they bring in Pensacola Catholic, and that is a tall order as the Crusaders are surging right now. I'm going to have to go with the visitors on this one.
Who is the visitors?
Pensacola Catholic.
Man, you're not gonna pick the home team, man. What?
I picked a lot of home teams.
I guess I go with Pensacola Catholic. That's gonna be a tough game for them. I watched them; they're pretty good.
Yeah, they're mean on the line, but I think JP2's also mean on the
Pick
line.
them, man. Pick
They're
them.
flying high. Give me JP2. They play some fun games. They don't lose a lot at home, gentlemen.
I like the pick. They've got a lot of momentum right now. I don't know how they're going to handle the Pensacola Catholic defensive front. They too have a heck of a running back. But if you can get G5 in the rhythm, they're an opportunistic team. I think they can definitely steal some scores here and there. But I don't know. They may be a little bit outmatched in this one, but it'll be a fun one.
And then, so I like what they're calling the rivalry. So it's two Catholic school, right? So rivalry they've got going. It's the Bishop Bowl.
Ooh, I like that.
Second annual Bishop Bowl between the two Northwest Florida Catholic schools.
Yeah, we had the Dolphin Bowl, we had the Bumblebee Bowl. I like the Bishop Bowl. I like this one. All right. Rounding it out, we've got Vernon taking on Baker. I'm going with the Gators again in this one. I think Vernon is actually kind of exciting. I think they just have fallen short in a lot of games. They've got a lot of young talent on the team, but I think they're going to be a little bit outmatched on the road at Baker.
Dun, 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 dun. Go Gators.
Oof. Yeah, I don't like seeing that. But I'm gonna have to go with Baker.
Dupe, like morally.
Yeah. Start to choke. Wilkes and Cato are mean on that run game. I think Baker's 5-0 at home this season. Having said that, Vernon's got a fun quarterback running back combo. Coltrane's fun to watch, but I think a little too much in the run game here for Baker. And they play really well at home, especially this season.
All right, Holmes County taking on Opp. And I look at that Opp, they put together pretty, I'm not too well versed in a lot of Alabama teams, but I do like the way the Blue Devils do play at home. If they can find a way to get take advantage of some of the I would say some of the things that they do on offense, they got a neat little kind of thing they do with a couple of swing passes and some bubble screens I've seen that kind of give them some of the advantages. But I don't know. I think the only common opponent is Northview. I think I may have to go with Opp on this one just because I think that's the only common opponent I've seen. I think the Blue Devils kind of struggle with that with Northview a little bit earlier in the season. So, I don't know. I thought about it for a minute, but I think Opp just may have a little bit a little bit stronger of a defensive front.
I guess I don't want to opt out. I'm going with Holmes. I got to do something. I'm trying to win, man.
There you go.
We giving a trophy away too for the winner. Oh,
let's do it.
The sweet tea.
We'll spray paint it gold though.
Right. Championship chalice of sweet tea.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, this is an interesting matchup that stylistically Op brings a lot to the table. A little bigger Alabama school, but I like the line, and I'm feeling Holmes County at home.
Ooh.
I think they're going to do enough to offset, and plus I got to have at least 2 to 3 upsets. I was frustrated. I didn't get enough upsets in the mix, so let's sprinkle some in. But yeah, I generally like Holmes County. And Coach, you won't believe me, but I had them picked before we started the show tonight.
Oh, I understand.
We'll go to the top together, just like I've kind of let you and Mark take the torch last couple weeks. We'll go.
Man, your philosophy, your formula wasn't doing too good. So
it was working for him in the middle of the season. I was like, dang, got it going on.
He had too many teams that didn't fit his formula, and I like that. That's a great matchup right there. Anyway, so
yeah.
I mean, hey, Holmes County at home.
Well, that will do it for this week's edition of the Extra Point. We appreciate everybody who hung out with us. Shout out to Will out there in Perry, Florida. We appreciate you logging on each week. We're definitely going to be looking forward to it, man. I'm riding with the Lions. I'm booking it. So I hope for a very, very exciting week of football. Shout out to all the players in the area. If this is your senior night, make it a good one. We encourage everybody to get out there and catch a game. It is week number 11. And we've got one more kind of bonus week of football we'll get into next week. But for my 2 tag team partners, Coach Cofield and Andrew Juke, this has been the Extra Point. We'll catch everybody next week.